Hey Hustle Babes, I'm Chanel the Brand Hustler, and this is a channel for all of my Hustle Babes who are interested in gaining insight on the entrepreneur journey while learning essential marketing and business tips for their brand. If that sounds like you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join the Hustle Babe community. See by the title, today I am answering a very popular question. Which website platform should I choose? So today I decided to choose the 3 most common sites that I hear people kind of debate between, and those are Shopify, WiX, and GoDaddy. So in today's video I am going to be telling you my pros and cons about Shopify, my pros and cons about WiX, and my pros and cons about GoDaddy, and then I'm going to be telling you which one I recommend based on a series of questions. But before you hear what I recommend for you and your business, comment down below which one of these sites you've been leaning towards. So if you've heard of one of these before, comment down below, and if you've already done your research and you're kind of like, I think I'm gonna go with one of these, before watching this video, go ahead and comment which one you are planning on starting your website with before you watch the remaining of this video. So go ahead, comment below. If you haven't heard by now, I am having a 10,000 subscriber giveaway, and I am giving away a Dymo 4XL printer. It is basically a printer that prints without ink. It prints completely off of heat, and you can print things like labels, you can print things like shipping labels, you can print things like product labels, all of that jazz using this printer. It is definitely an essential for any product-based business owner out there. So if you're interested in entering the giveaway, open up my description box and click the link right next to the words that say enter the giveaway. One of the requirements for you to actually enter the giveaway is subscribing to this channel. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, definitely go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then follow the other instructions in that giveaway link. Without further ado, let's get into this video. I first want to start off with the pros and cons of GoDaddy. So I think I'm going to go from my least favorite website platform to my most favorite platform, okay? And so when you guys hear the order, you will kind of already know what I recommend, but each of my recommendations also depend on the type of business that you have, and I'll explain that when I get to that section of the video. But to start off, let's talk about some of the pros and cons about GoDaddy. I wrote them down so that I wouldn't forget. The first pro of GoDaddy is that it is fast and easy. The major thing that I hear from a lot of my coaching clients and a lot of the clients when I first take them on is that they chose GoDaddy because it literally made their website in maybe 20 minutes. And the reason why is GoDaddy has a series of templates. I believe they have over 100 or something like that. And they have it categorized based on your industry. And so what happens is you go onto GoDaddy, you create an account, you sign up for whatever plan you're interested in, and then you sort it by industry. And then you tell GoDaddy that, hey, I want this particular template. GoDaddy's ADIs will then work and create the entire website for you, and you just have to go in and customize certain text, right? The reason why it's so easy is because, like I said, you don't really have to touch anything. It's more so of GoDaddy setting things up for you, and you just have to make sure that you plug and play pretty much. The second pro of GoDaddy is that it is super cheap. At least to me it is. I believe they have plans that start off at like $10 a month, which is super cheap, and those plans include a lot of features like domain hosting and things like that that other sites don't include in their basic package or include at all. And pretty much those are the only 2 pros I have for GoDaddy. Outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my cons. So the first con actually has to do with the fact that it is fast and easy. And like I just told you, GoDaddy uses a lot of templates. These templates are very basic and they are not super customizable, which means once you pick a template and you tell GoDaddy to set up your site, you're pretty much stuck with that. GoDaddy limits certain colors, so you can't change your fonts, to certain colors. You can't change certain backgrounds to certain colors. The same thing with fonts. You can't change your fonts to a certain look sometimes too. So you're very restricted on what exactly your website can look like. And that is one of the pitfalls, the major pitfalls of GoDaddy. The second con to GoDaddy is that digital products aren't supported. So obviously I help women with bomb products to establish and expand their brand, and that goes for both digital products and physical products. So if you're watching my YouTube videos and you have a digital product business, like you sell ebooks or something like that, GoDaddy will not work for you because you cannot list your digital products on GoDaddy. The third con I have is that it's limited with third-party integration. So what a third-party integration is, it's basically if you wanted your website to be able to communicate with another website that you're using to perform a particular task. All of this is going to be explained in a later video I have coming up, which is going to be released in September, talking all about automation, the automation tools I use. But for the sake of time, basically, let's say I wanted to automate a certain email drip campaign when somebody committed a certain action on my website. I can use a third-party integration to connect to my website to be able to actually execute that action. GoDaddy is very limited with integrations, so 9 times out of 10, the integration that you want to connect with GoDaddy won't work. My last con for GoDaddy, and I probably got a bunch more, but I'm just gonna make this my last because I'll be here talking about all the reasons why I don't like GoDaddy forever, but I'm gonna try to keep this semi-fair. My last con for GoDaddy is that they have limited support and sometimes their websites can be a little bit slow. I have no idea why their websites tend to have issues. A lot of people complain that there's a certain time of month where their website just won't work at all, or their website would just take forever to load up, and some other things. And then apparently they don't have a live chat support option, and their actual phone option or email option, they take a while to get back to you. So depending on how advanced you are with website building, or depending on if you're a person who has questions, period, you may not like GoDaddy because you can't get those questions answered. And I don't know about you, but I want my website to be up for as long as I want it up until I want it taken down. So with them having these periods of time where they may not have a website live, I'm not perfectly okay with that. But those are my pros and cons about GoDaddy. Now let's move on. So the second platform that I want to talk about today is WiX. So let's get into the pros and cons of WiX. So pros for WiX is that WiX has super cheap plans in comparison to other platforms when you think about the features that they include and all the things that you can do on WiX. So WiX has 2 different segments of their plans. One is more so for if you just need to showcase your work, like you are a photographer and you just want a place to have an online gallery type of thing. And then they also have a segment for if you want to use it for e-commerce, which is selling products and processing transactions. Depending on which of those segments you choose, you can be paying a super cheap amount for your website based on which one of those pockets you fall into. The second pro for WiX that I have written down is that it is easy to build a site due to the categorized templates. So similar to GoDaddy, WiX has a ton of different templates that are actually categorized based on industries. Unlike GoDaddy, WiX doesn't have nearly as many templates, but the reason why is WiX's templates are super customizable. So you can literally change almost anything on a WiX website. Even if you use a template, you can change pretty much anything. And then WiX also allows you to come and use a blank template, or like they have outlines of certain templates. So you can pick what layout you want and you can pretty much design everything from that, which is super duper cool. Another pro about WiX is that they have very useful apps and functions that are already built in. So when I start to talk about Shopify, you'll kind of see why I mentioned this as a pro. But basically, let's say you wanted the ability to have a free product deliver once somebody submits their email address. WiX has a functionality to do that. Let's say that you wanted to book, right? WiX has a WiX booking built in that you can use instead of using an outside party like Equity or Calendly or something like that, which is super cool if you're interested in any of that stuff. The other functionalities that Wix has is they make SEO super easy for you. They have an SEO tool that is added onto their more basic plans or is included on one of their more advanced and annual plans, and basically it will guide you through setting up your website to make sure it is search engine optimized, which is super duper bomb. Okay, they also have other functions like animating text and animating pictures and all of that jazz, which some of the other platforms do not have. Well, pretty much none of the actual other platforms have, at least not that easy, right? And so those are the pros of Wix. Now, when it comes to the cons of Wix, the creativity that Wix allows you to have is both a blessing and a curse, because if you aren't advanced in website design, or if you're not a creative person, period, coming into Wix with a blank canvas is kind of scary. Or even using their templates and trying to customize it to be your own type of look can still be scary because of all of the different options you have to customize a site. Okay, so if you're not a creative person, it may be kind of scary to utilize Wix to build your website because they allow so much creative freedom. It is truly a blank canvas. Another con of Wix is that you have to lay out your website for mobile separately from desktop. So when you go to set up your site on Wix, there's a tab that allows you to preview it as a desktop or mobile. When you preview it as a mobile site, you then have to drag and drop all of the different elements that you set up on your actual desktop site to fit on mobile. And so other websites like Shopify automatically do that for you most of the time. With Wix, they don't do that for you, so you have to sit there and make sure that your site on your phone is optimized like your actual desktop site. And then you come to realize that sometimes some of the features that you have on your desktop won't translate over to the mobile version, and you have to have kind of like a more basic version than you have on your desktop version if you use Wix. My last con for Wix is that you have to pay for additional analytics. So once again, there are different plans. Like I think there's 8 or 10 different plans that you can pick within Wix. And some of those plans don't include analytics at all. You have to pay for that as an addition. And some of the most expensive plans don't include analytics if you do month to month. You have to pay for it yearly in order to get the analytics feature. And basically the analytics that I'm talking about is being able to see a deeper dive into who came to your website, how many people added to cart, how long their sessions were when they stayed on your website, where the people came from, and all that stuff, which is kind of a bummer, especially if you plan on doing marketing. That is something that you definitely need. So you're going to either have to pay more for it to get it on Wix, or you're going to have to not have it at all, which then limits your marketing capabilities. So those are the pros and cons of Wix. Now let's get into my favorite website platform. If you can't tell, I'm actually a Shopify partner, and Shopify is one of the sites that I highly recommend, especially if it fits your type of business, which I'll get into in a second. But let's go ahead and list the pros of Shopify. The first pro is that it is the best, literally the best e-commerce website platform on the market, period. The best e-commerce website builder, period. And that is a fact, okay? That is proven. You can research it. It's a fact. So basically, the reason why Shopify has earned that title is because every single feature, every single plan, every single detail that is placed into Shopify is based off of the mind of somebody who is going to be selling products online. That is their audience. That is who they focus on, point blank, period, which makes them the best on the market for e-commerce. Okay, the second pro of Shopify is that they have a library of apps and functionalities. Okay, so whatever you're thinking that you want to do on your website, there's probably an app for that. You want pop-ups of who recently bought something, there's an app for that. You want people to be able to check a box and put in their email because something is out of stock and you want them to get notified, there's an app for that. You want to be able to upsell a certain item once people are checking out. You want to be like, oh, well, this shoe goes perfect with that outfit. There's an app for that. There is literally an app for almost anything you can think of within the Shopify App Store, which is dope, point blank, period. The third pro is that Shopify enables you to have over 100 payment options. I'm gonna say that again, over 100 payment options. Not only does Shopify have its own payment method, but you can use hundreds of other payment methods out there, way past your basic PayPal. Okay, think about it. The fourth pro is the inventory capabilities. So I mentioned that Shopify is #1 for e-commerce, okay? And one of the reasons why is because their inventory capabilities are none other, basically. Like, you can go on there and track things that you have coming in that you may not have yet. If you have multiple warehouses or multiple locations where you keep products at, you can have your different locations for your different warehouses on the back end of Shopify and track all of your inventory for those different places. Shopify allows you to add team members. So if you have a warehouse manager at one place and a warehouse manager at another place, they can both log in and kind of update everything that they need to on their back end. In terms of per product, you can actually list the cost of the product that you had to pay the vendor to get it to you for, and then of course you're going to put the price that you're going to sell it for, and Shopify will tell you your profit margins as well. Shopify also tracks your sold out items. You can also continue to sell your sold out items, which is a form of pre-sale. There are so many different things that you can do with your inventory that you can't do anywhere else that Shopify allows you to do, which once again is bomb.com. And the last pro that I want to share with you, because I can go on and on and on, and I actually might share an extra pro. But so the next pro I want to share with you is the analytics included in the basic plan of Shopify is better than all of the analytics that I've seen on other website platforms, period. Okay, so the basic plan of Shopify is actually $29 a month, and the analytics that they include in that is A1 steak sauce, and that is on the basic plan. Okay, they show you the social media channels that your traffic is coming from. They show you where you get the most traffic from. They show you what your conversion funnel looks like. So they'll show you the number of add to carts, the number of checkouts initiated, the number of purchases completed, and they show you the percentage, like the retention percentage as you go along the way. You can see the estimated time that people have spent on your website. You can see the number of sessions you've had. You can see the countries they've come from, the cities even that they've come from. There's so many different things that you can track within your Shopify analytics that a lot of other website platforms don't allow you to see on their analytics. And another thing that I want to share is the fact that Shopify is a website designer's dream, okay? Because there are a lot of things that you can code on the back end to give people the exact site that they're looking for. A lot of your major sites that you run into are probably hosted on Shopify because of the functionalities, the apps that they can build in, and the fact that you can pretty much custom code a good amount of things, okay? So Fashion Nova is one of my favorite brands. Their website is actually on Shopify. So if you didn't know, now you know. So unfortunately, we have to list some of the cons of Shopify. So one of the cons is that they have a very limited trial period. Their trial is 14 days only, point blank period, that's it. During COVID, they actually rolled out a 90-day trial period that a lot of people got to take advantage of, but unfortunately that has come to an end. So now you can only use Shopify for free for 14 days. Bouncing off of the fact that Shopify has a limited trial period comes the con that it may be expensive to some people. So the basic Shopify plan starts at $29, and then there's 2 more additional plans above that, and if you need anything above the third plan, then you can reach out to a team member and they will assist you with a custom pricing. But to some, $29 a month is a lot. lot. And like I said before, one of the pros of Shopify is that they have a ton of different apps that you can plug into your site. Not all of these apps are free. Because Shopify's App Store allows developers to create apps for Shopify and list it on the Shopify App Store, it means that those developers have the full capability of charging for their app. So if you download an app that you have to pay for monthly, that is added to your Shopify bill, and that can hike up your bill quite a lot. So for example, my site was hosted on Shopify and it ran me about $160 every single month because of the apps that I had. Currently, I have 2 sites. One of them is hosted on Wix and the other one is hosted on Shopify. But when I had both sites combined together and they were on Shopify, my bill for Shopify was about $160 each month. And if you don't have the budget for that, it can be quite expensive. The third con to Shopify is that if you want the full functionalities and the full capabilities of basically creating your own custom site, but also reaping all of the inventory benefits, all of the app benefits and all of that, you pretty much need a slight bit of knowledge with coding, okay? And so the reason why I say this is because certain themes that they have on Shopify only allow you a range of things to do. If you want to do something outside that range, you need to know how to custom code your own theme. Or you can get themes from other suppliers, but even with those themes, you still have to have some working knowledge of what exactly you're doing. But those are the only 3 cons of Shopify. Overall though, when I stack the pros against each other, Shopify outweighs a lot of the other platforms, especially when it comes to an online product business, especially when it comes to boutiques and things like that. Shopify is the way to go. So while I'm on it, why do I not just get into which one of these sites I recommend based off of certain factors? So I have a list of questions here that I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to answer them myself, kind of like Q&A with myself, and I'm going to basically choose one of these platforms as the answer to these questions depending on what their features and functionalities are. The first question is, which platform do I recommend based on the ease of use? So basically, which platform is easier to use? So if you are a complete beginner to websites and you really have no kind of creativity bone in your body, then GoDaddy may be the way to go because they build that site for you and you just kind of switch out the text and the images. Now, I say that with a grain of salt because I actually do not like GoDaddy at all. But if you had no experience, once again, GoDaddy may be the way to go. But if you have just slight experience, slight creativity, then I definitely suggest using Shopify because it is easy as well. You can select one of the themes that they have from their free theme library or from their paid theme library, and you can literally use their theme and then just switch out the pictures and text like you would use on GoDaddy. The process is not click a button and it happens. It's a couple more steps, but the option to do that is there. So I would recommend Shopify if you were looking for something that's easy to use. If you have absolutely no creativity, like I said, then just stick with GoDaddy. Second, which of these platforms allows me more creativity? Wix allows you the greatest creativity that I can ever imagine. Like I said, you can have a blank canvas, or you can start out with layout of certain sites and you can plug and play, or you can take one of the themes and completely customize and switch everything that you want. Which is the best for online shopping? So I'm guessing which one is the best for a consumer that wants to online shop. Shopify would be the answer. The reason why is, like I said, Shopify has a lot of inventory features. They have a lot of other features that are geared towards those boutique-like businesses, those online product businesses, all of the businesses that fall within e-commerce. So if you have an e-commerce store, any type of online store that sells products that you keep physical inventory with, Shopify is definitely your way to go to create the best experience for your buyer. It also allows you the opportunity to use hundreds of payment options, which, as you know, is key to getting people to buy sometimes. Having their payment option available is definitely one of the things that can make a sale or break a sale. So Shopify is the answer for that. And then, which of these platforms is the best for marketing your product? I would have to say go with either Wix or Shopify. Shopify is top tier for me. But if you want to be able to choose between the two, Wix and Shopify, you can definitely use, because they do offer third-party integrations, which is something that GoDaddy lacks. And so when it comes to marketing, whether that's email marketing, whether that's retargeting ads, there are apps that will develop retargeting ads for you. There are a couple of different functionalities that you can integrate into your site with third-party sites to allow you to successfully market your business. Definitely Shopify is the way to go, and Wix is a close second. All in all, if you have a product-based business, like I said, you have an online shoe boutique, an online hair boutique, an online clothing boutique, anything like that, or any skincare products where you keep inventory and you track all that yourself, Shopify is your go-to. If you are a person who's looking for kind of like creative outlet, maybe you're a photographer and you want to list your pictures and then just offer a booking option for them to book you, or if you are a writer and you want to showcase that content, or if you have a business like mine where maybe you offer coaching services and things like that, and you really want to utilize your website kind of like an online resume, but it's also interactive, then Wix would be the place for you to build your website on. I can't see a reason to recommend GoDaddy, so I'm just going to stick with recommending Shopify and Wix. And so those are the two that I would recommend for you, dependent on what you plan on doing and what exactly your business is. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and join the Hustle Babe community. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Share this video with someone that you know it will help. If you haven't entered the giveaway yet, make sure that you enter the giveaway, because the giveaway ends on September 1st. Okay, so you have until September 1st to enter the giveaway for the Dymo 4XL printer. You definitely don't want to miss out. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at The Brand Hustler, and if you want to follow my personal, you can follow me at I am Chanel Q. Other than that, I am about to be out of here, Hustle Babes. Bye.